Reggie and Tony, they're like synonymous with greatness.
Going above and beyond for the members.
Just amazingly, they were focused about what they were supposed to do.
The ultimate professional.
The two best teachers I've ever had.
36 years is a long time. It's a long time to work for a company, but what do you see in a job? Really, you're making an impact in people's life. I started working for this company actually back in 1986. I met a lady called Julie Nuff.
The day I met Reginald Lewis, something about the physical energy that I could feel from him and the look, the polish, the panache, the passion.
And so she asked me if I could do the job of sales. I said, well, we'll give it a shot.
And the rest is history. He came on board. Policies were being sold, maybe 5 or 6 a day. Reggie, right out of the gate, was selling 10, 12, 15, 18, 20, 22 policies every single day. It changed the entire organization. And then he told me about
my best friend, Anthony Willis. He would do better than me.
Reggie and I, we grew up together. I've known Reggie now for over 50 years.
I interviewed Tony, and Tony came in and did the exact same thing. Those two men changed the organization.
With this company, one good thing about it is that as long as you have that compassion of people, whereby you see people not just for selling them a product, but actually embrace them as part of your family, you're going to be very, very successful.
PFP, the Family Security Plan, really didn't start becoming who we were until Reggie and Tony started working with the Family Security Plan. Their work ethic defined how we measure people. Their results defined how we measure people. Their integrity defined how we behave. Everything about them really set the bar, from the way we manage, to the way we treat people, to the way we talk to people, to how we build trust with people, and how we want to influence people's lives. Reggie and Tony set the stage. They are the Family Security Plan, and everybody else just tries to keep up.
They interacted with every member that walked in the door. They were a household name for so many people in my community, a household name for me. In fact, my very first insurance policy from my mom was purchased from Reggie Lewis. They put the members first. Their goal was to ensure that, yes, they were covered, that their families were covered, but they wanted to ensure that they didn't oversell them.
They're connecting with this member, talking about real family things, life, what would happen in life. And they're making that decision right then and there, opposed to making an appointment, going to their homes. That takes a special kind of person to do. Everyone can't do that. The impact that Reggie and Tony have served to the community is very personal to me because it's my community. I was raised in Bedford-Stuyvesant, New York, Brooklyn, and I seen and experienced it all growing up. Something happened due to an illness or a untimely death, even in my family, have no insurance. So what we do, we take donations from our friends and families. We have fish fries. We get very creative to get up the money for the final expenses. Just imagine, you can't even mourn your family because of your loss because you have to get the final expenses. Because of Reggie and Tony, and I've seen it firsthand, because they do that connection, they're educating these people in my neighborhood, telling them the sense of urgency, why you have to do this today. They have changed the trajectory for so many families, and I am truly grateful for that on a personal level.
From what we offer the members, the affordability of the product, whereby it's so cheap, for as little as $3, $4, or $7, at the same time, they have something that they can take care of their loved ones at the time of need.
When you're selling something that you actually believe in, make your job a lot easier.
When you're in a market that is dealing with the underserved, the credit union market, there's a lot of synergy with the credit union message and with PFP's message. And Reggie and Tony really kind of combined those messages and just brought protection, family security plan to that community. No one has done what they've done. To write over 100,000 families in the New York area. And it's a story we can tell within PFP, our company. We have the two gentlemen who've done that.
It's not that you have to be the best salesperson in the world. You just have to care. The hard work, persistency, doing it night and day, doing it rain and shine, doing it when they didn't feel well. All those little things is what people looked up to, and you wanted to mimic them. You wanted to become them because they were doing that. It's not like they did something that was something crazy. They did all the little things right, and that's what made them so successful, and that's what we try to keep going to this day, is trying to do the little things right. The big things will happen. The traits, the values that Tony and Reggie had, I teach that to my kids.
To be able to impact an entire community through a conversation, one at a time, building that trust, going generation to generation, person to person. And not only the one person and their family, it's everyone that they knew. Each person that they spoke to, that they built that trust, would bring people, not one person, not just their family, but their friends, their relatives, people that they know. You must come see Reggie and Tony. They are trusted. They will take care of you. Listen to Reggie and Tony. That's the impact on the community that goes far beyond the numbers. Numbers are meaningless compared to the lives that they've impacted.
You can't keep Reggie and Tony in full retirement, right? So they're coming back.
Now we have the ability to protect more New Yorkers and their families more than ever.
For many years, the Family Security Plan was only offered to members of MCU. We've opened up the opportunity to protect families regardless of where they are. FSP Live gives us the chance to talk to anyone, anywhere. Regardless of where you are, this is an opportunity to be protected with the Family Security Plan, to participate in what we do, and to learn from Reggie and Tony.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we get to speak to the best there ever was. I introduce to you now for a great conversation with Reggie Lewis and Tony Williams. Come on out. Yeah. Gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
You ready to have a good time? Yes. All right. Well, these two men did more than anyone in the entire history of life insurance in the entire country, for the history of life insurance. And the Family Security Plan community, you know, it's all about the people. It's about you. It's about everybody's watching, and it's about all the people that you protected. The promises you made to each and every one of them, and the promises we kept together by caring. And for the past 4 years, just think it was a short 4 years, 21,887 families called upon those promises because things happened in their lives, and we at the Family Security Plan provided, listen to this, $240 million into those families' hands. What did they do? What did they do with that? They did whatever they needed to do. You know, but all of it starts with the people you know, the people you like, and the people you trust. And that's Reggie and Tony, and that's also the folks here from the Family Security Plan. We have our team here today, and it's fantastic because we're here to educate, we're here to protect, and we care. So let's hear from Reggie. Let's hear from Tony, and let's get this party started. Okay. 36 years. 36 years.
Yes.
That's a career. And the question I have, and we'll start with you, Tony, why have you been doing what you've been doing for 36 years?
First of all, I have to say,
You have to have your mic. Do you find your mic?
You want me to say nothing?
It's the moment when you're sitting on the mic.
That happened.
hello.
Yeah,
All
there he
right.
is.
First of all, I have to say welcome and thank you all for coming. And I'm looking around, I see my friends all the way from the Bronx. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for coming. And my gentleman right here, also from the Bronx, thank you very much. Thanks for coming. And everybody from Brooklyn, you're all welcome. And Manhattan, all over the borough, The reason when I come to work for the past 36 years is just to help. And looking at you guys, every time you come in, it gives me joy. It makes me want to wake up in the morning, we'll go back since 1988, 1986. I mean, coming in the morning, looking at you and looking at all the members gives me joy. And I'm here to help you out.
Nice. That's very nice. Now, Reggie,
Yes.
we're different here. That's what kept you here for 36 years. What was it?
Well, before I proceed, I just want to say thank you guys for coming. And good afternoon. We're all welcome. I appreciate you coming here today to see myself and Tony. One of the main reasons why I stayed in jail for 36 years is because of the same people who were here and who never came. Interacting with all these members that come to MCU, do their transaction and whatnot, and I go online, call them and talk to them, explain to them what I'm doing there. And fortunately for me, most of the time they responded to me. And I appreciate it. We want to continue doing what we've been doing, even though I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not retired, but I got other guys to go and continue. Okay.
Well, that's good. And
Yes.
you know, the family security plan, guys, it's all about family. We've got family in the name. And when it comes to that, it must mean something to you. Family, it's deep, it has meaning. And Tony, what does family mean to you?
Well, family is what it's all about. I'm looking at the father, the mother, the kids, the grandchildren. That's what family is all about. And we all want to leave something for our kids while we're not here. And the most important thing is, through the family security plan, we have products that will take care of that for you. We have the life insurance product, we have the disability, we have the critical, and also we have the accident policy.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
We got it all covered. And we have the backing of a very stable company, Security Mutual, that they've been there for us all these years, through things and thin, they were there. And anytime there's a claim, they're there for us. So that's the main thing, whereby you can rest assured that your families are well taken care of.
That's true. That's true. Now, Reggie,
Yes.
look, you've seen all kinds of families.
Yes.
And you've been able to help them. So what does family mean to you?
Well, just like you said, it's your mother, father, son, children, cousins. I want to tell you one thing that I do remember. There was a long time ago when I was standing there when we used to be on Montague Street. This young police officer came into the branch. He just got out of the academy, came down to the branch, and I saw him. I approached the guy. I spoke to him. I told him about the insurance and everything that we had. So after I spoke to him, he actually got the policy from me, and he went by his business, to what he needed to do. Then 20 years later, the same guy came back, and he was telling me that he's about to retire. I don't even remember this guy anymore. But he's been coming to the branch to say hello. So he told me he was about to retire from the police department, and he said to me, and I said, well, it's nice, I said, I kept the policy, but right now, I'm married, I have children, and I want to include them in the policy. Also, he wants to change the beneficiary, because when he bought the policy, it was his mother that he made a benefit. He was a young man then, but over the years, he got married, so that's basically what family is all about. So we're here to help all, make sure people take care of their family, protect your family, and that's what is it.
It's like the whole household.
Exactly.
It's like a family reunion. You
Yes.
come on in, you get a chance to see everybody.
Yeah.
And that's so true. And, the real protection starts from our amazing insurance carrier, Security Mutual, who
Yes.
we've been with for so long. We're talking about since 1996. They've been by our side. They've been in New York, around the country, and the whole thing. So, Tony, what is it about Security Mutual that makes them special?
Well, where do I start? The main thing is trust. They're always there. And I've seen all you guys, come to the branch, and we talked. In the thick of things, either through guaranteed cash value that you want to borrow from, or in the time of need, all we got to do, just call in or come to the branch, and they make sure that everything is taken care of.
Now, how's technology changed over the years?
Whoa, that's another thing. Because I remember in the old days, we were just talking to Mike McKenzie. In those days, we used to use what we call a paper.
That's right.
You know, I mean, about one application, you need about 11 signatures. But with the new technology now through what they call the lifeguard, all you need is just one signature and you're done. And even now, with the new technology, they have what we call the portal. So if you want to change your beneficiary, or if you want to get anything that you want to do with your policies at your fingertips, so you can all get that all done.
And all of this brings about trust. And
That's
it's about
that's
being there
amazing.
when the families need it most. It's about being able to deliver the products, the technology, the payments, the whole thing.
Yeah,
And
trust.
it's all about
Very
trust. So
important,
what does it mean to you, Reggie?
Well, to me, insurance is basically, you need policy when you know things are really bad. You never know. People don't really know until something happens.
Right.
Well, one thing about Security Mutual Life, it's a very great company. I'm going to tell you one thing that I will never forget, being there for so many years. There was one particular day, a member came down here, he wanted to talk to me. You know, so he sat down waiting for me until I was able to talk to him. He told me he wanted to get a policy for himself, his wife, and children. And I told him that we have a basic policy. He doesn't have to spend that much, but $50,000 for you, $25,000 for yourself, and what they call a rider, which cover, regardless of how many children you have, each of them might call for $10,000 each. It's not, say, well, I'll do that. Okay, so it's going to cost a few dollars and to take it from your paycheck. So, the guy sat down with me, we fill out the form, everything was done. And the amazing thing is, he went away by his business. I continued to talk to other members. A week or two later, the same guy showed up, and he said, he looks very sad. And I said, what's wrong? How you doing, buddy? He said, you won't believe my wife passed away. Oh. I'm like, what? He was just here last week. He signed up for a policy last week, and she passed away. She said she passed away. And I said, oh, my God. I said, you know what? No, let me tell you something, though. The policy I gave you is brand new. It's just an application form. We don't have a policy yet. I mean, you don't have a policy number yet. You haven't even paid a dime. They haven't taken any money from your check. So I don't know if they're going to pay it or not. I'm going to be honest with you because it's still within what they call 2-year guarantee contestability period. And the guy said, well, I know. The guy told me, I know, but I just want to tell you anyway. And I said, okay, you know what? Let me just call my service department and talk to them about your situation. And the guy said, okay. He wasn't expecting anything, because like I said to him, it was brand new. So I called our service, I got the information from him, put the process through and whatnot, and he left. Very sad. A couple of months later, the same guy showed up and said, Reggie, you know what, they paid me. And I said, what? He said, they actually paid him. He couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I'm saying, they paid you? I said, yeah. And that's what Security Mutual is all about. Most insurance companies will never honor that policy.
Yeah. That's trust.
That's the bottom line. They wouldn't honor because you haven't paid anything. It's still within the period, so they would just find a way to bail out of it. So that was one of the things that still keep me going, so.
And that brought about trust. And
That's
you do
what
that
it is.
over and over again,
yes.
and the entire community starts to see
Exactly.
that there's a lot of trust here,
Yep.
and this is where you want to go if you want the right kind of treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony, has trust been, have you ever seen an example of that?
Very much so. Actually, this one is very close to home, really. I mean, in the Bronx branch, one of the assistant manager there, she's a twin. And the twin sister bought a policy from me for herself, the spouse, and for a child. And I'm sure probably you guys probably heard it on the news. We did a policy in about 8 months. The guy was shot, killed. And when I came to work, I saw the sister, the assistant manager, and she was telling me, Tony, you won't believe what happened. I said, what happened? He said, twin sister's husband was killed. I said, probably you heard it on the news. I said, wow. And the first thing that came to mind is this policy is new. Just like Reggie was saying, the policy was about 8 months old. And I mean, of course, I'm going to tell her, I said, I'm not sure if the policy is going to pay it or not. And long and behold, after about a couple of months, I think it took about maybe 4 months because of the time the policy was in effect, they paid.
It's amazing.
They pay. That's
That's
one
what
good
it's
thing
all about.
They pay.
You know,
And from that on, she brought the whole family. I insured the brother, the mother, the grandchildren, the neighbors, everybody got the policy from me. So
the word
that's,
gets out.
yeah,
The
it
word
does.
gets out.
It does.
You know, when it's helping people every day that you do, it's what gets you up in the morning. That's your driving force.
Yes.
That's why
Yes.
you do what you do. But you know, when you think about it, I think it'd be really interesting for you to express, why is it that you do this? What about it makes it so special?
Well, I'll give you another good example. Even though we were talking about the life insurance, another situation happened in the branch. A young lady came in. This is somebody I know for years. I mean, I think she's about 38 years old now. And this is not even life insurance we're talking about. You know, she came in, she said, hello, Tony, you know, as the usual thing that we do. And I just gave her a policy maybe about 3 or 4 months prior to that, and I know I can't do anything for her, but I remember we just got a policy, the critical insurance for the cancer, stroke, heart attack. And I called her over, I said, you know what, I can't give you life insurance anymore, but you know what, I think you should buy the critical. Oh, she said, don't jinx me, Tony. I don't need any cancer policy. Nobody in my family have cancer, so and so. But because I know her very well and she trusted me, she bought the policy for $75,000 for the critical, which is the cancer program. And I haven't seen her for a while. I think she said she moved to Brooklyn and whatnot. And about maybe 15 or 2 years after, she came to the branch, and I was busy. I was with a member, and she kept on, you know, because I was still very close to the front. She came around. I said, Anthony, come on. I said, okay, as soon as I finish with my member, I'll come over to you. She wouldn't take no for an answer. She said, come on. So I excused myself from the person I was taking care of, so I got up, and she just gave me a very tight hug. I said, whoa. You know, and she was wearing a baseball hat. And all she did was just tip up the hat, and she was bald just like me, so I knew what happened.
Yep.
She had the breast cancer. And she got a check for $75,000.
Whoa.
And she said, thank you that I mean, you were persistent. I'm glad that I listened to you. Now my daughter doesn't have to worry about how I'm going to pay daycare. I don't have to worry about, I can take a couple of time off of the job and concentrate on my treatment. And thank you. These are the kind of things that, I mean, it brought tears to my eyes. I mean, these are the kind of things, I mean, 38 years old, who will think? You know, so I said, you know what? It's worth it. I'm going to work tomorrow.
It sure is. That's good. That's a great story. Reggie.
Well, you know, just like Tony was the same, similar thing happened with me also. One of my clients who worked for Transit, he came down there one day. I spoke to him again. He was telling me that, you know, what else can you get for me? I said, well, you know, you already have most of the policy that I have. But, you know, what I could recommend for you now, well, we have what they call critical illness. You could, you know, that's another product that, you know, we've been, you know, giving to all the members. And he said, what's that? I said, you know what, I'm going to let you talk to that young man that worked for me. This young man, you know, Che Davis. So I called Che and I said, Che, why don't you talk to these guys? Show him what he got, because I do life, he does the other thing. So Che spoke to the guy and wrote him a policy for critical illness for $50,000. And this thing, you never expect things to happen to you, but you never know.
Right.
Oh my God. The same dude came about a year later, he had prostate cancer. You know? Gosh, you never know, man. I mean, thank God he signed off for that particular policy. He came back trying to thank me. He said, was hugging me, telling me that $50,000 help him out. I said, well, you don't have to thank me. You need to thank that young man, Che. He was the one who wrote the policy. All I did was recommend that guy to you. So, you know, that's how it is. That's how you really, you know, when you affect people's life, you make a change in people's life, it makes the job worthwhile. And you always tell members, you never know. Nobody comes, you never know what will happen. You don't expect anything to happen, but believe me, you know, it's for a few dollars you could.
Well, you speak about the few dollars and say, you guys have such examples of people saying yes. But not everybody says yes, do they, Tony?
No.
So you were telling me earlier about a story about someone who said no.
You know, if you've been in a place for 36 years, there's so many stories that goes along. This is another young lady that I knew from the Bronx branch. I mean, of course, every time she comes in, you know, I'm right there, you guys know, I'm right there in the middle of the floor saying hello to everybody, smiling. And she tells me, I have insurance on the job, I have insurance on the job. I said, you know, one day, I mean, it was a little quiet, and I was talking to her. I said, yes, you do have insurance on the job, but do you realize that most life insurance on the job only covers you? It doesn't cover your kids, your husband, or anything like that. They say, okay, I still have insurance on the job. When I'm ready, I'll come see you. Then she left. Then maybe a couple of months after that, you know, she comes in, and we were talking. I'm looking at her eyes. I said, whoa, what happened? She wasn't her usual self because she's very bubbly, you know, that kind of a thing. And, you know, she came over, you know, started wailing. I said, wow, what happened? They said, you won't believe it. I went home from work one day, and I was tired. I was on the couch, laid out, and I just called my son. I think he was only 17 years old. Oh, mommy had a little cramp, you know, help me stretch my leg, whatnot. And you know what happened? The 17-year-old dropped. Not knowing that the child has an enlarged heart. Nobody knew. 17 years old. And all the time I've been speaking to her, all it took is only $2. $2 will have given that child 17,000 life insurance policy.
$2 a week.
$2 a week.
That's unbelievable.
Will have given that child $17,000 a week, life insurance. And of course, she doesn't have insurance on the child. She has to come back to the bank to borrow money to bury the child. So every time they're taking that money from our paycheck to pay the loan, that just be the bad memory. This is the money I use to bury my child. After that, she insured the whole family. I mean, another thing, you don't have to wait till something happens because you'll never know when something happens.
That's true. That's true. You know, and you talk about these products, guys. Yes. And you talk about all the products. Do you have the products?
Oh, yes. Please. One thing for sure, though, you know, I have all this product. I wouldn't sell anybody something I don't have. So, you know, I have the life insurance, the disability, critical illness, an accidental policy with the same company. And I'm always trying to encourage people to get it. It's a very good thing. It's not, you know, I mean, believe me, you never know. Nobody wants to die or nobody wants to fall sick, but it's always a nice protection to have.
You've seen it your whole career.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And how about you, Tony?
Same thing. I mean, it's easier to offer something to somebody that you already have yourself.
Of course.
Because there's no reason I'm going to say, okay, buy a life insurance from me or buy a disability insurance from me, and I don't have it. And what it is, I always tell people in saying, it's always good to have all this product because you never know. You can't say, oh, I'm going to buy a life insurance or wait till the disability because you don't know which one is going to come first. So I always tell people it's good to have it and not to use it, and not to have it and have time to use it.
That's true.
So it's always good to make sure you have it all, and I do have it.
So you both are part of the Family Security Plan community.
Of course.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I mean, and you think about this community and how important it is. How important it is to the about 180,000 people around the country, close to 100,000 people in New York. We're talking about a lot of people make up the Family Security Plan community. So community means something. Oh, yes. It means something to me. What does it mean to you?
Well, to me, basically, the way I would define the community is basically, is like, you know, interacting with members, you know, MCU members, you know, who have a set of goals of what they need to do with their lives, you know, enlighten them about the products, what it would do to them, make their life better. Educating people about the insurance, you know, make sure, you know, what you need to, you know, one thing about it, like I said, insurance is a good thing. You know, it sounds like a piece of paper, but it's a good thing. So when being part of the community is to enlighten members, let them know what it is. And when you explain to people what the product is all about, you'll be surprised how much people get involved. And they'll bring their family also.
And community. Tony, what does it mean to you?
Well, Family Security Plan, I've been a part of MCE community for over 45 years. And we've been around through the good times and also through the bad times. I'll give you a very good example. During the 9/11, we have a lot of members that are part of it. Who knew that was going to happen? And recently, we were just talking about COVID.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of members that got paid. And people are calling me, even when I'm retired, people are calling me, Tony, how's my policy? Because you never know. You know, even people that have COVID, I know a lot of people that passed away. You know, even people that they bought a policy from me, maybe 5 months, and COVID took them. But Security Mutual did pay. Because of the trust of the company, not many insurance companies would do that.
That's true.
Not too many insurance companies would do that, but they did pay.
That's special. You know, and we've done a really good job talking about your past, your career, the community, why you do what it is. So before we close out, and we have a chance to have some dinner together and continue the conversation, what would you like to say to the community that's listening, that's watching, that's here?
Well, to me, I would like to say thank you guys for coming, number one. And I would like to encourage you to bring friends, family, cousin, neighbors to participate in this program moving forward. You know, I'm not gone, even though I'm retired, I'm still around. And we have a couple of our agents around there. You could talk to them if you have any questions about the product. They will tell you more about it. Thank you.
Yeah, same thing. Like Reggie said, even though I might not be in the lobby anymore, but I'm still a very much part of this ever-growing company. So any questions you have, you can either go in the lobby. There are people over there right now. Anytime you go into the lobby, even though Anthony Williams is not there, there's somebody there. We even come to your office. We come to your sites. And of course, you can go on the phone. And even here tonight, we have experienced agents that are ready to answer any question you may have. And thank you very much for coming.
Reggie, Tony, thank you. Here from the crowd, thank you.
Thank
While
you, guys.
the presentation is ending, the conversation is only beginning. It isn't going to stop. We know that the community is going to just continue to grow. We thank you very much for watching. We thank you for attending. Stick around. Enjoy the meal. Enjoy the evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for coming.
Tastes like strawberries on a summer evening, and it sounds just like a song.